Let's get it. During the look back, Janelle had made a very strong point, I thought. I thought Janelle had a bang up appearance on the show, by the way. But during the look back, Janelle had an opportunity to talk about Kody's whole position of the big act, where he's saying that, you know, I'm able to do the act. I'm able to do the keep pretending. I'm able to keep doing my duty as a husband to you if that's what you really want. I'm able to keep the act going, the facade going if that's what you're really looking for. And I thought that Janelle had a strong point. Now, before we get started, let me give Kody the opportunity to explain his position of the big act with regard to Mary. Because, you know, Kody always tries to set up a situation where he's always put upon, he's always the victim. Somehow he's making these sacrifices, he's going the extra mile. And for these people who are ungrateful and undeserving of his time and attention, but he's the benevolent one who's spending that time and attention on these people who are so beneath him. So let's take a look at what Kody has to say with regard to the big act and how he explained it on the confessional couch.
I am willing to fake being in love with Mary, doing my duties as a husband, sort of putting up with things that frustrate me so deeply that I struggle to be around her. If I need to, for the sake of whatever, I don't know. I can fake through this.
I can struggle for the sake of the whatever. The whole point is that he's sitting here saying that he can fake and pretend to be in a situation. He can fake it till he makes it. He can be the man who's going to be in love with this woman and pretend to be in love with this woman. And he's such a good actor and such a good portrayer of this thing that nobody's ever going to be able to tell the difference. Mary tries the counterpoint of saying, that, oh, the act is obvious and everybody knows that you're acting. Everybody knows that you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Of course, because one is something that he doesn't want to do. What he's referring to is saying that he's going to do his duty, is he's just going to keep showing up. He's going to show up to certain events. He's not going to have a smile on his face because that's not required. He's not going to enjoy his time with you because that's not required. It's just required that he shows up and does certain things. And from the respect of him doing the act or his duty, there's certain parts of his duty that he just will not fulfill, because it's not in his wheelhouse. What he will do is participate when you have money or financial decisions to make. What he will do is he'll be there for the profit sharing when you make your big money and you get that big check and you go to cash it. He'll show up for that. That's the part of his duties that he's referring to. When he's talking about siphoning off your money to take care and provide for the big picture, then yes, he's going to fulfill his duties. But when it comes to him meeting your needs, when it comes to him showing up for you, when it comes time for him to experience life with you, he's not signed up for that, because that's extra. That's going to cost you extra, and frankly, you don't have the balance in your bank account. And that's where he's at with that. So when he's talking about, you know, he's able to fulfill these duties, what he's talking about is, I'm able to portray the image that we are still one family. Full stop, period, the end. But what Mary is referring to is, you're not coming around and pretending to be my husband or my wife. My husband allowed me to pretend to be your wife, so therefore it's not acceptable. If it's not acceptable, you have to make the decision that it's not acceptable. Janelle had something that was very interesting to say with regard to this. And this is something that all of us, I think, were kind of feeling the entire time he was saying it. But I'm going to let Janelle say it, then I want to expand on it at the end.
Yeah, I wonder if he realizes that there were some of us who were doing the same thing. He's not the only one who had to sort of honor his commitments and just be there because it was what you needed to do. He acts like he's some put upon person who made some sort of sacrifice. I'm sorry, buddy. That's what happens in a marriage. And when the relationships are bad, that's kind of how everybody feels.
And this is actually important, because no matter what people say on YouTube, no matter what people talk about in these advice columns or relationship forums, the reality of it is relationships are difficult, not because it's hard to be with somebody and you don't like the people you're with. They're difficult because they're not always good. They're not always great. It is you showing up consistently and deciding that you're going to commit to this relationship. You're going to try to work it out. You're going to fake it till you make it. You're going to participate 100% even when you don't feel like it. Even when you're tired. You're not, you participate and you do your best to stay committed and stay connected to that other person. That's what makes relationships hard. The funny part is that Kody says it as though he's the only person who's done that. Janelle, Mary, Christine, even Robin, when they talk about the sacred loneliness, this is them putting up the act that it's okay, that they're okay and they're fine with you going off and spending time with somebody else or somebody else's children when their kids are sitting there wanting their father. They're sitting there pretending that this is okay. They're sitting there acting as though you're fulfilling your needs and you're doing everything that you should be doing for the family and that you're providing for them, not just financially, but emotionally, spiritually, sexually, the intimacy levels. You're giving them all these things, the psychological inputs that you put onto the children, imprints you put onto the children. You're doing all these things, and you're doing a great job at it because I understand I only see you once a week, but that's more than enough. They are pretending. And they're pretending to be a part of this relationship and pretending that this relationship is working and is functional, that you're doing a good job. And you're doing everything that you should be doing, not things you could be doing and the things you can do. You're doing everything you should be doing as a father, as a person who helped to bring this life about into this planet and helping to provide for that life the best way you can. They're pretending. They're pretending that you're smart. They're pretending that you're leading the family. They're pretending that you're making good decisions. Everybody is sitting around pretending. But Kody is the only one who wants to acknowledge his participation in the whole thespian experience of pretending to be in this relationship. This is why I thought that Janelle's message was extremely powerful and extremely potent. Because the more you sit there and look at what you're doing and take for granted the other person's contribution, you lead yourself into a situation where you have the breakdown in the relationships that Kody experienced, and you have the failure of marriage and failure of relationships that he's going through now. That's my take. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'm James. This has been My Take on Reality, and I'm out.